Welcome back to Special Educators Resource Room podcast. I'm Jennifer from Positively Learning. Thanks so much for tuning in every week. Today, we're going to be digging into a question I know you've either asked or vented about before. How am I supposed to train paraprofessionals when no one actually gives me time to do it? And if you're listening right now and thinking, Jennifer, I don't even have a team, it's just me, please don't skip this one, because the ideas we're talking about today can help you train anyone who supports your students. Maybe it is a paraprofessional, a co-teacher, gen ed teacher, a sub, related service providers, family volunteers. This episode will be for you too. A real talk. Why does this feel so hard? I know I have listened to other podcast episodes and watched YouTube videos where we're talking about interviewing paraprofessionals for an upcoming position, or maybe it's providing professional development like training or having a meeting. And I think that was not my experience. I worked at a district that would use contract workers for paraprofessionals and support staff. This meant that someone would be showing up at a classroom door after they have clocked in, and you don't know who this person's going to be or what their background is. I'm pretty sure the hiring requirements was passing a fingerprint test, and I can assume there was no training. Training came from experience, on the clock, with students. If students weren't there, paraprofessionals weren't there either. They weren't staying for unpaid training, and I don't blame them. No one is giving you a PD day and saying, go ahead, spend all day walking paraprofessionals through what everyone needs. Nope. You might get a smile and a schedule and maybe a vague directive like have your team help support independence. But the truth is, no one's supporting you in how to do that. And that is frustrating because most of us don't want to boss around people. We want to collaborate, but it feels impossible. When you're responsible for everything, you're constantly putting out fires, and you're trying not to feel like the bad guy every time you redirect someone. So what ends up happening? You're either micromanaging and feeling guilty, or my specialty, you avoid giving feedback altogether and you feel resentful. Lose-lose. Let's change that. What can you do when you don't have extra time? Let's talk about 6 practical, doable ways to build in training without needing to stop and schedule a full team meeting. Number 1, narrate what you're doing using think alouds. You're already modeling for students. Why not do the same for all adults? Say what you're doing out loud when you're working with a student. I'm just giving her a little wait time before I prompt. Watch how I use the visual to show what's next. I'm tallying how many independent responses she gives. See how I mark it here? These are quick, casual comments that do double duty. They support the student. They also give an adult an inside look at your thinking. Number 2, use sticky notes and visual prompts. We do not want to underestimate the power of a sticky note. You could try something like, please only prompt if he asks for help. Today, we're going to be collecting data on the number of transitions. Tally each time. Or try using a first-then card during this task. These work because they are so quick and they're non-threatening. It's reinforcing exactly what you want without needing a whole explanation. And you can even reuse these visuals every week. Number 3, you can assign a task of the day. So instead of trying to juggle every detail that feels like a losing situation, you can give a paraprofessional one specific responsibility for that day. Your focus today is prompting. Notice how many times you have to help this student finish the task. Can you keep an eye out for students who are skipping parts of their work binder and just flag it? One small focus area can help build clarity and ownership. You could rotate these daily so paraprofessionals can build confidence in more than one area over time. But what I usually did was I just asked, what do you want to focus on today? I worked with paraprofessionals who loved supporting behavior. I think it's because they felt really confident in their abilities to do that. Why wouldn't I tap into that? I worked with other paraprofessionals who weren't feeling so confident. They'd rather do something else. And yes, we're all pitching in, all hands on deck, but why wouldn't I play to someone's strengths? Number 4, use transition time to coach. Not coaching like in a formal way, but use when you're walking in the hallway, cleanup time, bus duty, all of those minutes. Instead of making small talk or venting, which we all do, you can ask, how did this go today? Did you see how this student was trying to work ahead? I'm thinking we give them a checklist next time. They're not formal trainings, but these can be very impactful minutes. They often can feel more natural than a scheduled meeting. Number 5, model one thing per week. No, we don't have extra minutes for training, but maybe we can pick one small focus for the week and plan to model it once. Maybe it could be how to prompt with fewer words, how to tally student behavior, how to cue with a gesture instead of verbal, just once, and then mention it. I'm going to model how I prompt during this workbinder task. Watch for how I pause and then tap the card. There's no pressure. You're just bringing awareness. Number 6, plan for micro formal training moments. Because sometimes we do need to provide more than a sticky note or a hallway chat. If you're introducing a new strategy, a new data sheet, or a new behavior protocol, you are going to need something a little more structured. So here's what you can do. Grab the calendar and look ahead 1 to 2 weeks. Find a 5 to 10 minute block of time where you can provide modeling or explaining on the clock. Maybe it is when students are at specials. Maybe it is when paras are supporting lunch or arrival and you are nearby them. Maybe it's when a student is absent and you have a breather. 5 minutes here and there really adds up, but you have to be prepared. That's why you're putting it on the calendar. So when those 5 minutes do appear, you know exactly how to use them. And honestly, it's more impactful than sitting down for 30 minutes with a handout and a PowerPoint. Let's quickly recap these 6 power moves where you can provide training on the clock. Number 1, you're narrating what you're doing using think alouds. Number 2, you can use visual prompts and sticky notes. It's quick, it's non-threatening. Number 3, assign a task of the day instead of trying to juggle every detail. Number 4, use transition time to coach. This is our informal training. Number 5, model one thing per week. No pressure, just awareness. And number 6, plan for more micro formal training moments. This is where you're putting it on the calendar so when the moment appears, you are ready. Here are my final thoughts. No one trained you to be a trainer. But if you're in charge of a classroom with support staff, you're already doing it. So don't wait for the perfect PD day. Admin is not going to come up with extra time. Start now. Pick one thing, narrate it, post it, model it, ask about it, and repeat. You're building a stronger classroom culture every time you do this. If this episode was helpful, please take 30 seconds and send it to a teammate or fellow teacher. And if you have a question you'd like answered in a future episode, I'd love to hear it. Use the link in the show notes to drop your question in the Google form. It's quick, it's anonymous, unless you want to leave your name, and it helps shape future episodes. Until next time, you are doing incredible work. Keep showing up, and I'll talk to you soon in the Special Educators Resource Room. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'm dying to ask, what'd you think? Be sure to hit the follow or subscribe buttons so that you never miss an episode. You can find the show notes and links for everything mentioned in this episode at positivelylearningblog.com. See you next week for more special education solutions.